All right, let's dive into this like it's the biggest offseason move we've seen in years. Because honestly, for the Golden State Warriors, it just might be. There's a new wave of reports coming out that link the Warriors to Milwaukee Bucks. Big man Bobby Portis, and if you're thinking this is just another name tossed into the rumor mill, think again. This has been brewing behind the scenes for quite some time. Warriors fans might be surprised by the headline, but insiders knew this was a name Golden State had been circling for months, maybe longer. The question now isn't if there's interest. That's been confirmed. The real question is, can Mike Dunleavy Jr. actually pull this off and bring in what might be the absolute perfect fit for Steve Kerr's system? Now, we're not just going to regurgitate rumors here. This video, this conversation, this deep dive is about connecting the dots, analyzing the data, understanding the strategy behind the scenes, and maybe, just maybe, seeing the Warriors front office move with the kind of precision they'll need to make one final run with this core. Because let's be honest with ourselves, time is ticking. Steph Curry isn't getting younger, and this roster isn't going to stay elite by accident. They've got to be proactive. They've got to be bold. And Bobby Portis might be the kind of under-the-radar yet high upside piece that changes everything. So, let's break it down. Why Bobby Portis? Why now? What's changed? And more importantly, how does this even become possible financially and roster-wise? First off, Portis isn't just some stretch big that pads stats on a mediocre team. This is a guy who's made his name by grinding, by showing up in big moments, and by doing all the little things that championship teams need. He's tough. He's emotional. He rebounds like a beast. He spreads the floor. He can shoot from outside, and he doesn't shy away from pressure. That's exactly the kind of energy the Warriors have missed since they lost guys like David West and Andrew Bogut. Those enforcers, the guys who bring an edge. Portis has that. And on top of that, he can play real minutes and contribute on both ends. The numbers don't lie. At 6'10", he put up around 14 points, almost 9 rebounds, and a couple of assists per game this past season. All that coming off the bench most nights. He's shooting 36% from deep, 46% overall from the field. And get this, 43% from the corners. That's huge. Because in Steve Kerr's offense, spacing is king. Corner shooters stretch the defense and open up the court for the Warriors' motion system. Portis doesn't just shoot threes, he hits them at a rate that forces defenses to respect him. That changes how teams defend the Warriors, and it gives Steph, Clay, and whoever's handling the ball more room to operate. What's more, he's not just a one-trick pony. He's got a little mid-range game, and while you might not want him taking too many of those fade-in Kevin Garnett-style long twos, it does speak to his versatility. He's not locked into one zone. He can hurt you from several spots on the court, and if he's used within a disciplined offensive system like Kerr's, you can bet he'll be taking smarter shots than he might have been allowed to in other places. Now, let's talk about why Portis might even be on the move in the first place, because from the outside, it might not make sense. He's got a player option for next season worth a little over $13 million, and it's expected the mid-level exception will land around $14.1 million. So if he leaves Milwaukee, it's not like he's making a huge leap in salary. We're talking less than $1 million in difference. That's not a financial motivator unless the deal he's eyeing is multi-year, and that's exactly what we're hearing. Portis wants long-term security. He's earned it. And if Milwaukee's not willing to give it, or if they're looking to shake things up because of the Damian Lillard injury and a potential soft reset, then that opens the door. You also have to remember Bobby is beloved in Milwaukee. The fans love him. They literally chant his name. He's got the nickname Mr. Milwaukee. This isn't about loyalty or comfort. This is a business decision, and potentially the chance to start fresh and chase another ring somewhere he's wanted. And make no mistake, Steve Kerr wants him. That's not speculation. That's real. The connection between Kerr and Portis runs deep. They spent time together during the 2023 FIBA World Cup with Team USA, and Kerr came away impressed. We're talking about a coach who's notoriously picky when it comes to big men in his system. He doesn't just want size. He wants mobility, IQ, spacing, and toughness. Portis checks every box. This is not a one-way flirtation. Kerr is a fan, and Portis knows it. That mutual respect could go a long way if the Warriors make a serious offer. But here's the tricky part. How does Golden State actually make this work? The cap situation is messy. Everyone knows that. And everything this offseason is going to revolve around what happens with Jonathan Kuminga. If they keep him, if they extend him, that impacts how much flexibility they'll have. If they trade him, that could open up all kinds of doors, including potentially making room to use that non-taxpayer mid-level exception. And yes, they've got one of those this offseason. $14.1 million to spend, but only if they avoid crossing certain financial lines. So Portis could fit financially, just barely. But it's tight, and it hinges on a domino effect of other moves. Most notably what happens with Kuminga, Moses Moody, and maybe even Brandon Podziemski. There are scenarios being floated around where Pods and Moody could be part of a package to Milwaukee if Portis opts in and the Bucks want to offload his contract. That works salary-wise. But does Golden State really want to give up those guys? We know Steve Kerr loves Podziemski, called him untouchable last year. But this year, that's not clear. Front offices change. Priorities shift. And when you're trying to squeeze one more championship out of this aging core, sometimes you have to take risks. Sometimes you have to make painful decisions. That's where the Warriors are right now. And for those of you out there saying, I'm tired of speculation, just tell me when the deal's done. Let me tell you, this is the story. Speculation is the news. The NBA offseason is a chess match, and everything we're seeing right now, all the leaks, all the rumors, they're all part of how the game is played. You think front offices don't float names to see how the media or fan base reacts? You think agents don't use the press to boost leverage? Come on, this is part of it. And it matters because what's happening behind closed doors right now will shape the next 5 years of this franchise. Think about it. Steph Curry's window is closing. The Warriors have one, maybe two more real shots at contending. After that is full rebuild. So yeah, speculation matters because it tells us whether this front office is doing what it needs to do to stay relevant. And whether Bobby Portis ends up in the Bay or not, the fact that his name keeps popping up, the fact that executives keep tying him to the Warriors, that tells you they're active, they're searching, they're not sitting on their hands. But here's what's even more interesting. Let's get nerdy for a second. Let's talk about math. No, not basic stats, advanced analytics. Because behind the scenes, NBA teams aren't just watching film and reading box scores. They're using algorithms. There's running models, and one of the tools they use is something called cosine similarity. Sound complicated? It is. But here's the simplified version. It's a mathematical way of measuring how similar two things are, in this case, players. You take all that data, shooting percentages, rebounding, defensive stats, offensive impact, and more, and you compare it to other players. If the number is close to 1, they're very similar. If it's close to 0, they're different. If it's negative, they're basically opposites. So when you run that data across the league and ask the question, what type of big fits best in the Warriors' motion offense? A few names pop up. Brook Lopez, for example, scores a near-perfect match. Makes sense. He shoots a 3, defends at a high level, rebounds, passes well, and understands team defense. But you know who else scores almost as high? Bobby freaking Portis. Portis scores a .96 on the similarity scale to what the Warriors are looking for in a center. That's second only to Lopez. Let that sink in. The math, the actual numbers say that Portis is almost the ideal match for what Steve Kerr wants in a big. That's not a guess. That's not an eye test. That's the result of running a league-wide analysis of player profiles and cross-referencing them with the traits that the Warriors prioritize. Floor spacing, rebounding, passing, defensive IQ, and team impact. So when you hear reports that, Golden State has been chasing Portis since the trade deadline, believe them. When you hear they almost got him, believe it. They've been working the phones. They've been trying to figure this out. And now, with Milwaukee potentially resetting and Portis eyeing a new long-term contract, the stars could finally align. Before we continue, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss any exclusive Dubs updates. Let's keep going. Whispers are growing louder around the NBA as the Golden State Warriors reportedly prepare a shocking offer for superstar Kevin Durant. Sources close to the situation suggest that the Warriors, fresh off their recent roster moves, might be eyeing a blockbuster deal to bring Durant back to the Bay Area, stirring up excitement and speculation across the league. Durant, who left Golden State a few seasons ago amid much fanfare, has been linked to multiple teams since then. Yet the idea of a reunion with the Warriors, a franchise that has been synonymous with its peak performances and championship glory, is beginning to dominate conversations. This potential move could send shockwaves through the NBA landscape, disrupting team dynamics and playoff projections alike. The Warriors front office is reportedly crafting an offer so surprising it could force Durant and his camp to seriously reconsider their current situation. While the exact details of the proposed deal remain under wraps, insiders hint at a mix of promising young talent and valuable draft picks, alongside strategic financial incentives designed to lure Durant back. This approach signals Golden State's intent not only to rebuild, but to contend fiercely once again. Adding fuel to the rumor mill, fans and analysts alike have been quick to debate the possible impact of Durant's return. On one hand, his offensive firepower and experience would bolster the Warriors' championship aspirations, offering a dynamic scoring option alongside the likes of Stephen Curry and Klay Thompson. On the other hand, questions linger about team chemistry and how Durant's reintegration might affect the current core's roles and minutes. The timing of these reports is particularly intriguing, given the Warriors' recent struggles with injuries and inconsistency. Bringing in a player of Durant's caliber could be seen as a bold statement of intent, signaling a willingness to shake up the roster and make a major push for the title. Conversely, some speculate this could be a strategic move by Golden State to test the waters, gauging Durant's interest without fully committing just yet. Durant himself has remained tight-lipped about any potential moves, fueling the suspense. Even further, his camp is known for carefully weighing options before making decisions, so this rumored offer might just be the beginning of a prolonged negotiation process. Meanwhile, other teams are surely watching closely, knowing that if the Warriors do make a successful play for Durant, the balance of power in the league could shift dramatically. For now, the possibility of Kevin Durant returning to Golden State remains just that, a tantalizing rumor sparking conversations from coast to coast. Whether this offer materializes into a blockbuster trade or simply adds to the off-season chatter, one thing is clear. The NBA summer just got a lot more interesting. Fans and pundits alike will be watching closely as this story unfolds, waiting to see if the Warriors can pull off one of the most surprising moves in recent history. Stay updated exclusively with the latest Dub Nation news. Subscribe to our channel and hit the like button to keep getting daily updates on the Warriors. Don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments. Your input is essential for the Dubs community. Stay tuned for the next video.